We are releasing a tool to the public to help you ask the right questions to your team or your department on how to improve your software development. At the VZ, we ask ourselves all the time how we can improve our own software development, and we realize that these questions that we ask ourselves based on the DORA reports that are released every year, that they are very useful not only to us but also to customers and other people in the industry. That's why we're releasing a tool called the DORA Calculator, which is a tool that builds on the DORA Quick Check. To summarize, really, it's a tool that helps you ask the correct questions and asks you what your experiences are with the current DORA capabilities. And at the end of the benchmark, you'll be able to see what types of capabilities you should prioritize and what the impact of those capabilities will be on your current DORA metrics, so that you can look back in the future on if these metrics have improved with the desired amount. Now, I'm going to take you with me and fill in a benchmark as an example, and then hopefully you can do the same thing yourself. Now, I'll call our benchmark here the LinkedIn benchmark, because that application can use a lot of development, in my opinion. And at the end of this road, you should be able to see the core metrics that you can improve on, the DORA metrics to be precise. And you should also be able to see the core capabilities that you can use from the DORA system to improve your own software development. DORA is a company that was created a long time ago and was bought by Google Cloud later, and it focuses primarily on developing a research report every year that gives insights to the industry in the performance of the elite performing companies and the worst performing companies, and what your software development tells you about your company performance. Now, on the current screen that I'm looking at, you can choose which capabilities from the DORA core capabilities you've already implemented. Now, for this example, I'm going to select the code maintainability, database change management, and I'd like to say that we work with trunk-based development and in small batches. Fill in whatever fits your department's or your team's needs. And then we come to the screen where we have 4 different metrics that we can scale from 1 till 7. These metrics are the DORA metrics, and they are all rated based on each other. So if everything is a 4, then that's the same, and that doesn't really help your case. So make sure to at least select some metrics that you prioritize over other ones. For example, if you're a company in finance, it's probably best to have a very low failure recovery time metric, and to be able to have very little failures as well. So we'll do that for this example. Now, this is the screen where you fill in your current metrics, and I'll continue this financial example and say that we only release 1 failure every 100 deployments. We deploy once every quarter, so that's 0.333 repeating, but I can't really go endlessly with that. Our recovery time is 6 minutes, and our lead time for changes is, let's say, 1.5 months on average, which is 24 times 50, for this example, 1,200 hours. All right. Now, some of these capabilities that DORA offers you might have heard of, you might have some experience with, but you aren't satisfied yet with how it's implemented. On this screen, you can fill in how familiar you already are with these metrics. So I'm going to say that we are pretty familiar with documentation quality, but every customer wants different types of documentation. So for that reason, I'll say 5 out of 7. We should be using version control in every team, but in this example, I'm just going to state that we are very familiar with it, and we have test automation already pretty high up the tree. All right. Then at the end of filling this in, you will get a quick review screen, and then you will be able to create your benchmark and see how you stack up against the other performers in the reports from DORA. As you can see here, our deployment frequency and our lead time for changes are quite bad, but our failure recovery time and our change failure rate are elite. And we can continue and then see even more, which are the capabilities that we should be prioritizing in our improvements that we want to make for our team or our unit, or whatever instance you're filling this in for. All right, we finished filling in the benchmark. As you can see, it's quite easy, and it gives you a nice kickoff point to have a discussion with your team and to look back on the report in the future. Please click the link and fill it in for yourselves. I hope to talk to you about it in the future.